When the chips are down, which specialized team of highly trained, extremely dangerous operatives do you want protecting you? With so many fantastic options out there, it's hard to pick just one. Today's video is all about breaking down a few of the most popular and potentially terrifying Special Forces teams across a wide variety of different franchises. Which team would you want watching your back if the other ones were coming for you? That's a tough call, but today we're going to examine teams from the MCU, DC, Star Wars, and a few surprises. So let's get into it.
Well, I've seen too much. Well, we'll try and keep up.
Alright, let's get one thing out of the way. Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. was so blind that it allowed Hydra to infiltrate them and destroy them from the inside, but everyone makes mistakes from time to time. Let's not let that take away from how awesome the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can be. I mean, I would even argue that the Hydra betrayal made this organization even stronger because it forced them to grapple with the ultimate evil, and they came out of it even better than before. Not many secretive government organizations would be able to say the same thing. Seriously, they improved immensely. Like that first season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was rough, but after the Winter Soldier Hydra twist, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. became a solid butt-kicking elite team of secret agents. It's just a shame they live in the same world as superheroes, because it means they'll never get the full recognition they deserve. Who cares about the everyday secret agent when Iron Man's flying around, right? And even though they're just as likely to make jokes and crack a quip at every opportunity, they still use a great combination of strategy and fighting prowess to take their enemies down in a highly efficient way. We still don't know much about the Tenant Team because Christopher Nolan loves to drive audiences crazy with his secretive method of filmmaking. But the trailers for the upcoming movie seem to showcase a highly skilled group of operatives who use time manipulation to fight bad guys. Like, sure, Nolan is an incredibly smart filmmaker, but he also makes movies that would make an 8-year-old perk up and listen. I want a team that goes into dreams. I want to make a movie about dueling magicians. I want a movie that deals with time-manipulating secret agents. Team Tenet, or should I say the Tenant Team, the Tenetites? I don't know what to call them yet, but I'll think of something later. Anyway, these individuals seem to be the best of the best in their field. Nobody else can do what they do, and that's fair because you don't see a lot of time manipulators running amok everywhere. So their unique advantage gives them a major edge over the competition. Not only do they possess amazing technology, but they're incredibly well trained in every way. If you hire them to do a job that'll take 4 hours, they'll probably do it in 1, and then ask for their next assignment. Team Avatar had its share of great villains over the course of its run, but there's one evil trio that challenged the team in a unique and special way. I, of course, am talking about the Azula Trio, consisting of Princess Crazy Pants Azula, the peppy and flexible Ty Lee, and the grim and brooding May. And sure, they were never officially called the Azula Trio, but given that group, do you really think Azula would let them be named anything else? I don't think so. The reason this team was so effective is because of how diverse they were in their abilities. Yes, Azula was a powerhouse with her crazy firebending, but she was also incredibly ruthless, and would never stop chasing what she wanted, not caring about anyone who stood in her way. Ty Lee brought a fun energy with her happiness, but her chi blocking techniques made her one of the most dangerous fighters in the whole Avatar world. And then of course May threw a lot of knives and had an icy streak a mile wide, so she wasn't someone to mess with. Overall, this team had skill, power, and diversity, which made them an admirable thorn in the side of our heroes. What's this?
We some kind of Suicide Squad.
Okay, the live-action movie may not have been the best representation of Task Force X, but if you look elsewhere, you'll see just how deadly and dangerous this Special Forces team really is. Run by the ruthless Amanda Waller, this group consisting of morally dubious bad guys can say or do just about anything. They're the ones you call in when you need to get a job done, but don't want to call a superhero to make things complicated legal-wise. And the best part about this group is how expendable they are. You can never really destroy the Suicide Squad because Amanda Waller could always repopulate its ranks with more criminals. Like, say for example there's a nuclear bomb needing defusing. Waller would send them in without ever having to worry about their health or safety. It's kind of a messed up system, but in Waller's eyes, she's doing this for the greater good. And with an ever-changing roster, the Suicide Squad's abilities are always different. Sometimes you get sharpshooters with perfect accuracy, sometimes you get gigantic sharks, sometimes you get a guy who throws a boomerang really good. The point is, you never know what you're gonna get with the Suicide Squad, so it's incredibly hard to prepare for them. Sometimes it's not enough to just be fast, but you gotta be furious as well. That's a lesson Dominic Toretto's family has learned over and over again in their increasingly bonkers adventures. You guys remember when the Fast and Furious movies were about stolen DVD players? Now the films are all about Toretto's team stopping ridiculous acts of global mayhem. And I'm not complaining one bit. The Fast and Furious movies are a lot of fun, and with each passing installment, Toretto's family only continues to grow and evolve to awesome new heights. They're now a hodgepodge of hackers, fighters, and expert drivers. If the movies have proven anything, it's that there's nothing this team can't accomplish if they put their minds to it. As long as there's some type of vehicle somewhere near the vicinity, then they'll most likely be successful. Oh, and don't forget, after the mission is over, you'll be able to join Toretto and the rest of the gang for a big old backyard barbecue. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal. But to be fair, there's probably a huge chance Hobbs won't be around anymore, so you'll have to decide if that's worth it or not. If you're looking for the most well-trained, well-funded, and well-armed secret organization special forces team, you'd be hard-pressed to find one better than the High Table, the powerful elite overseers of the assassins in the John Wick universe. Their allure comes from how much we still don't know about them. We're not quite sure how deep their pockets go, but if the John Wick movies are any indication, they have a tight grip on the entire world. The scariest thing about the High Table is how prepared they are. They're not messy or out of control, but rather have developed a complex system for assassins that everybody listens to and abides by. And that's super important. The High Table rules everything with an equal measure of fear and respect, and crossing them is a serious problem. If you ever do anything to make the High Table mad, you can expect a highly elite task force of 50 trained assassins arriving at your doorstep. And if that's the case, you better hope to have John Wick on speed dial, because he seems to be the only one capable of stopping anybody. The most horrible thing about the Black Widows is the same thing that makes them one of the most elite special forces in the world. It's that they recruit from a very young age. The Black Widow program tragically acquires new recruits when they're just little girls, and then spends years turning them into the ultimate weapons. Capable of handling practically any situation they're thrown into, they can infiltrate governments all over the world and dismantle them from the inside without you ever knowing what happened. You'll only know they exist when they want you to, and that makes them extremely dangerous. Trust me, you don't want the Black Widows as your enemy. We were lucky that Hawkeye was able to turn Natasha over to the side of our heroes, because we couldn't imagine what would have happened if she had stayed evil. And overall, the more we learn about the Black Widow program, the more horrifying it seems. And I'm sure we're going to be repulsed even more when the Black Widow solo movie comes out. What's the phrase?
Manners maketh man.
Well, manners also seem to make a super suave, super elite, super skilled secret agent. Say that 10 times fast. Move over, James Bond, because there's a better British team of spies that can save the world and still look great doing it. It's the Kingsmen, you dingus. I'm sure a lot of us wanted to join the Kingsmen after seeing that first movie, and why wouldn't we? We would learn to become super secret agents who ooze charm and sophistication while protecting the world from diabolical threats. How cool is that? Oh, yeah, I guess there's the whole dog thing. Oh, that pug is so sweet. That makes it a lot harder to choose, huh? But besides its cool exterior, the Kingsmen have a very respectable moral code in how they conduct their business. That's really admirable. Like, if I needed a job to be done, I know that if I contacted the Kingsmen, I would be met with the utmost level of grace and professionalism, and something about that is just reassuring. Plus, apparently it's super hard for them to be wiped out because there's magic goo that can cure bullet wounds. With that, they're basically unstoppable. And we've seen the Kingsmen and the Statesmen. Who knows what other countries have their own secret organizations that have yet to be discovered. But the dog thing, it's a lot, right? It's a lot. There's a reason the League of Shadows, or League of Assassins depending on what you're watching, keeps showing up in a wide variety of different DC franchises. It's because they're such an effective villain and a terrifying threat. a super secretive league of highly trained ninjas who carry out assassinations and plot uprisings all over the world? Yeah, I'd say they're a group to watch out for. Like, if you know these ninjas are after you, I don't think there's a place you could hide on Earth where they wouldn't track you down. If you ditch all your technology and flee to a remote island in the middle of nowhere, I'd bet you'd only have a few days before the League arrives to finish the job. They're a force that can never be stopped, and their numbers never seem to dwindle. Because sure, we know the head honcho is Ra's al Ghul and his daughters, but most of their members are just nameless, faceless, trained fighters and assassins. And that is what really makes them scary. Without a lot of personality amongst its ninjas, the League is like this black hole of terror that can't be reasoned with or stopped. Okay, listen, I know stormtroopers in general get a lot of flack for being horrible shots who can't seem to hit anything that's right in front of them. These guys didn't start out that way. Before stormtroopers were the laughingstock of the entire galaxy, the original clone army successfully helped Palpatine wipe out the entire Jedi Order and conquer the galaxy. So it's about time we give these guys some credit. No, credits will do fine. Credits will do just fine. Ugh, Toydarians. But overall, the clone troopers are the perfect special forces team. They're genetically engineered to be the best soldiers money can buy, and they're also incredibly compliant. So just think about having an entire elite special forces team at your fingertips that were specifically created to listen to your every order. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal, right? Sure, if you're a naughty little Sith, you could use the clones to create an empire. But if you're a good little Jedi, you could use the clone troopers' skills for good, and not evil. And these guys definitely know how to mostly hit their targets. Just look at how precise they were when they began Order 66. Oh no. Well, that's a wrap on today's video. What do you think? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below and tell us what other teams should have been included. And while you're here, go ahead and give us a big old thumbs up and hit that big subscribe button for more awesome content just like this. Thanks a lot for watching CBR.